What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Minor Premise. This movie is directed by Eric Schultz. Now, before we begin, if you like my channel, of course, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button and comment below on any that you watch, including this one. So this movie, Minor Premise, which has like the weirdest kind of bland title I've ever seen for a movie, it deals with a character named Ethan, and Ethan's one of these individuals that's a neuroscientist. He's very, very smart for who he is. He has a father that has become kind of a very well-known, very prominent individual who unfortunately passed away, has a building named after him and stuff like that. And because of the nature of what Ethan is and who he is, he feels like he's underneath the shadow of his father because his father's getting all the credit for their work because they work together. So he has decided to go basically underground, and he's developing this project which will, in kind of scientific ways, will start to kind of focus on the gray matter of your brain, the psychology, the kind of personalities, and trying to kind of cope and kind of understand what we still don't even in reality understand how the brain works and functions. We understand a little bit, but the true nature of the brain itself is not 100% mapped and stuff like that. So in the process, he ends up doing the experimenting on himself, and it creates a thing where in a sci-fi related world, his personality split into 10 individuals, and they have everything from anger to reluctance to smartness to libido and so on and so forth. So he's having blackouts, but every time he has blackouts, he switches personalities and so on and so forth. So in the process, his ex-girlfriend Allie comes into the mix, and she tries to basically help him bring back his personalities into the fold, kind of study what's going on and trying to kind of put everything back together, pieces and so on and so forth. And it also causes problems because the more antagonist portions of his personalities are affecting the more personable portions of his protagonist versions of his personalities. And so with that said, that's pretty much kind of the easiest synopsis for this movie, because similar to something like Pi or something like Primer, this movie is a very interesting, very heady sci-fi movie where the director, and especially the writers, one of the writers who worked in the field of neuroscience and stuff like that, are trying to create a very grounded, very realistic film that is taking a lot of liberties. For instance, the personalities change every 6 minutes, which is a little kind of every single 6 minutes the personality changes and so on and so forth. So it's a little strange in that material. But they're trying to, even when Ethan writes out all the connotations and stuff like that and all the formulas, they try to keep it as realistic and realism as possible. And with that said, it's a film that is going to be hard for a lot of people to truly kind of grasp. I'm going to have to watch this film, to me personally, a second time if I'm going to do an Ending Explains video to try and kind of grasp a little bit more about what's going on. But it's a film that takes the ideas and kind of the magnitude of what the idea of the brain is and really kind of runs with it and does a really nice job with its low budget of really giving us a good sci-fi thriller, a really entertaining film, but also giving us some interesting concepts and ideas behind the ideas of like neuroscience and physiology and psychology and so on and so forth. So on that end and that spectrum, I think it's a really great low budget thriller, like I said, in the vein of a Primer or Pi or something like that. And I think the director Eric Schultz is in that same vein where they have truly shown how good their talents are as directors, and kind of just as a first film has given them a room to kind of improve and kind of push themselves into a different atmosphere or stratosphere if they decide to do bigger projects or go into different type of genres. And it's just a film that really takes its material seriously, and then the actors really do a nice job because they're it's very low budget, so they don't have a lot to work with, but what they work with is very well represented and very well done. And like I said, having a writer who has a lot of experience in this kind of genre or this kind of field really gives it an authentic type of scenario. And then you're dealing with like time travel a little bit, and then, between the blackouts and stuff like that. So it really does feel like a very well presented, well directed movie. And the only issues that I have with it is it gets so heady sometimes that people are going to be really confused. There's very, very rough around the edges scenarios, the kind of the far-fetched nature, like I said, of the 6 minutes of, how like if something happens in this movie and they know a certain personality is going to be involved, why aren't they taking that, for instance, a piece of paper that they have important information on and locking it in a box or something like that? And it's just sometimes those things are so kind of out of whack and far out of place that you kind of start kind of getting a little kind of thrown off, but it's not something that is going to take away from your enjoyment of the film. It's just a little rough around the edges that the director needs to kind of work on to kind of get his, vision for later films and so on and so forth. Some things are a little too neatly clean. But like I said, this movie has a very interesting kind of ending to it that you kind of leaves you kind of open-ended in what just happened, so on and so forth. So, but with the people that worked on this, one of the producers worked on Martha May Marlene, so you can get a little bit of the thriller feel into this type of movie. But with that said, with the ending of this review, I think this film is really unique, really entertaining. It's really low budget, but it really does a nice job working with the material it has, working with the budget it has. And for a first time directorial effort from Eric Schultz, I think he does a really nice job. So it's definitely something you should check out. It's on VOD on December 4th. And I think it's a film that is going to be like an Annals of Primer or Pie. So, but that's it. That's going to be my take on Minor Premise. Thank you so much. And thank you to the studio for allowing me to watch this early. Let me know in the comments below what you think of these types of sci-fi thrillers, these types of sci-fi headiness films. When I say headiness, like the kind of realistic nature to the premise itself. But otherwise, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.